matter what, people will commit to misunderstanding you. What's most important is your commitment to understanding yourself. Hello, you guys. My name is Nkirka Madani, known as NK, and welcome back to Misunderstood. What turns you on? I thought it would be fun to dive into some of the aspects of being around somebody that you like, somebody that you're attracted to, and breaking down some things that turn you on. I think it's fun to lean into the things that turn us on. We are human, and being turned on is part of the human experience. And don't let anyone make you feel bad or weird or whatever about your turn-ons, what you like, what you enjoy. So I have a list, and I wanted to talk through a few of these with you guys. Please let me know if there are any that you also agree with or things on this list that you don't agree with. I would also love for anybody to submit some turn-ons that I have not mentioned in our jot form. So we have a jot form for Misunderstood. It is always linked in the description of every single podcast episode. I would love to hear from you, whether it be for this specific episode or just in general. If you want to say hi, if you have questions for future episodes, please let me know, and I look forward to hearing from you. But before we get started, make sure to rate Misunderstood, this podcast, 5 stars. This podcast means so much to me, and I'm so happy that it means a lot to a lot of you. I see the back end, and I'm really happy that our community is growing. What you can do to continue supporting this podcast is leave a 5-star rating on Apple, Spotify, wherever you are listening. Thank you so much. All right, number 1, guys who read. I think guys who read are so much more attractive than the average guy. In my eyes, reading makes you curious for learning. And one thing about me, I love learning. I love random facts. I love when guys are sitting outside and reading, sitting on the subway reading, sitting at a coffee shop and reading, maybe drinking a coffee, drinking a glass of wine. Something about that does it for me every single time. Number 2, a guy who can teach me something. Okay, so this is going into the intellectual side of my brain that always needs to be stimulated. If you're like me, you will definitely understand this. You literally cannot be attracted to a guy that doesn't challenge you intellectually. Personally, I need a guy who brings something to the table other than his physical looks. I need that mental stimulation. So I love when guys teach me something. Most of the guys who I've dated have hit that mark and have taught me something, whether it be a fun fact, something about the country they're from. I love it. I eat that shit up. I think it's just super hot. There's this guy who I have been going on dates with, and he's in the music industry, and I don't know a lot about the music industry. So him telling me about everything with production and filming and music videos, things that I literally have no idea about, I think that's really, really attractive. And I ask him questions, and he's one of those people who will answer every single question I throw at him. And I think that's also a very, very good trait. Number 3, navy blue tuxedos. All right. This is just something I have loved for so long. I've loved this for so long. I don't even know who I saw first don this navy blue tuxedo, but I have a theory. That every single guy who puts on a navy blue tuxedo looks attractive. Even if you are not standardly attractive, you will look significantly better with a navy blue tuxedo. So every single time I see someone wearing one, whether it's just me scrolling on social media or better yet, I'm seeing it in person, I am literally stopping dead in my tracks and staring. Okay, yeah, I am staring. I am admiring from afar. Every guy needs a navy blue tuxedo. If any guys are listening to this, I don't believe any guys listen to Misunderstood, but if you do, please take some notes and get yourself a navy blue tuxedo. Number 4, really nice teeth. Okay, so this specific one actually started when I was so young. I love taking care of my teeth. I've always loved the dentist. I know that's kind of weird and random, but we all have our things. I used to love going to the dentist from a young age. I also love basketball, and I will explain why those are related. Dwight Howard was the star of the Orlando Magic for so long when I was growing up. And he was always known for his teeth. He was a great basketball player. He was the star of that team. However, everybody, literally everybody would always say Dwight Howard has the best teeth in the NBA, the best teeth ever. He has a great smile, and it's most likely because he has such great teeth to share with the world. And so from that young age, I said, all right, he's a very good looking man and I love his teeth. And I've just been set out on this whole journey of really appreciating teeth and appreciating guys with nice teeth, nice smile. I think nice teeth really show that you take care of yourself, and that's something I look for in a guy. Guys who have really, really nice teeth, straight teeth, super white teeth, clearly takes care of their teeth, because it really does show if you take care of your teeth. That goes a long way. Number 5, an accent. All right, so accents are just so attractive. Insert literally any accent. I wrote down Australian, Brazilian, Irish, but there are literally so many accents that I find attractive. Honestly, I think any accent other than an American accent just hits the ear differently. I'm speaking for anybody who lives in the US and you grew up here, you don't hear it very often. So when you hear it, your ears perk up, at least mine do. Every single time I meet a new person, specifically a new guy, and I hear their accent and it's British or it's Irish or Australian or whatever, it just already makes me attracted to them. Okay? And the other thing that's fun about an accent is that not everyone has one. So you already stand out because you have an accent. To the guys who have accents, you're already at the top of my list. Number 6, one singular arm vein. I added this in here because I have this hyperfixation with guys who have nice arms. I love being picked up by guys. I love when a guy can show he's strong. However, let me be very clear. It's not in the super flashy way. I'm not trying to date anybody who's a gym bro, makes that his whole personality. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a guy who is strong, subtle. He's very subtle about it, but he is strong. So anyways, one singular arm vein in the middle of their bicep, it already just shows strength. It already just shows that they're working on themselves. And for me, I love an active guy. That is very high on my priorities list. A guy who takes care of himself, is physically fit. And again, I'm not talking about football player status. I'm just talking about he takes care of himself and it shows. But back to the fixation. I just have a fixation with arms, but I know that it's tied to seeing strength in a guy, which for me, I like to be in my feminine. So when I see that in a guy, that is already an immediate turn on. Number 7, run really well. I've already talked about this a lot on the pod, but I am a runner. Started that journey at the end of last year. I'm very proud of how far I've come in my running journey. I also grew up an athlete. So this is outside of even being a runner as an adult. I grew up on the track. Your girl was a track star. I went to state for track. I personally always find it attractive when a guy can run really well. Okay. And there is an art to running. There is a form and there is this melody with running. It's actually such an ick. And actually, I really want to do icks in another episode, but it is an ick when a guy doesn't run properly. If you know, you know. If you've seen it, you've seen it. And it's just optically a turn off. But a guy who runs really well has really great form, really great breathing, everything. He just has the whole package. That is already something that is really attractive. I definitely am attracted to guys who are athletic. That's not the only type of guy who I'm attracted to, but athleticism, if you can show that, it's such a flex and I think it's so attractive. Next, a backwards hat. All right, so I have a long-standing history with the backwards hat, and I know you probably do as well. We see it online, we see it in person, we see it at sporting events. I think it's really hot when guys wear their hats backwards. And I'm talking about a baseball hat specifically. If you're unaware, when they wear a baseball hat backwards, it looks really hot. Also, we can throw in some trucker hats here and there, but for the most part, it is a baseball hat, a snapback hat. I was at an event in Montauk and I was talking to this guy. This guy was super, super nice. He definitely was attractive. I'm not going to lie, but we were just talking very friendly and harmless. we were at a table for a brand that invited me to this event, and they had hats. This guy who I was talking to, he grabs one of the hats and puts it on the normal way. And then I literally grab the hat off his head and I flip it backwards. I was like, yeah, you should actually just wear your hat like this going forward. Enough said. So I said it without saying it that he looked hot. I didn't say the words, but I definitely gave all the affirmation needed in all the nonverbal ways to say, this is how you should be wearing your hat, because this already gave you an entire glow up so quickly. Next, button up shirt with sleeves rolled up. Okay, I fell in love with this when I was in corporate, because the corporate wear for guys is a button up shirt that is the proper corporate attire for men. I remember one of my managers who, I'll be honest, everyone had a crush on him. It wasn't just me, okay? I did have a crush on one of my managers when I was working at corporate, and when I would go into his office, he would always have his damn sleeves rolled up, and he had his button-up shirt, and he had one button undone every single time. And I was like, damn, I feel like he knows what he's doing. Keep in mind, I was in the office back when I was, 23, 24. So I was young. I was impressionable. And he was at least 10, maybe 12 years older than me and all of my peers. But that sparked it. That sparked it all for me. So then, since then, I would always look around when I'm walking around New York, and really wherever, when I'm seeing guys coming from the train or guys crossing the street, guys in their suits, but mostly they're just in their button-up shirts and they're walking with their damn sleeves rolled up. It's the forearm. So when a guy has a nice forearm and is showing it, I think that's really attractive. I also have to say, I think that forearm showing for a guy is almost equivalent to a little bit of cleavage for a girl. It's not the exact comparison, but it just makes me think something that a guy does to, quote, show a little skin is showing a little bit of forearm, especially in the workplace where it's very proper, it's very, quote, buttoned up, but having that forearm rolled up, I think it's just so hot. And then also when they're wearing a watch on top of that, and here's the thing, I don't even like watches. I do not even wear a watch. I'm not a watch girl, but I think it's really hot when guys wear watches. Next. This is probably my favorite one on the list. A beard. Okay? I love a beard. This is coming from dating now 3 guys who had really, really, really beautiful beards. And it's nice to touch. It's nice to lean on. I just love scruff. And also, I fully believe that for a guy, a beard is one of the strongest symbols of being masculine. There's obviously so many ways that guys can be masculine, just like there's so many ways that a woman can be feminine. But for guys, personally, I think that a beard is just so hot, so manly, so rugged, and that is my type, okay? My type is that. I do enjoy that, and I want a guy with a beard. So that is why I've been dating guys with beards. I just also think on the flip side, when I've seen guys not have a beard, it makes them look like a baby. Please tell me that you agree. When they do not have a beard, it makes them look like a baby. When they have a beard, they literally age up by at least 5 years, which is a good thing because we're not out here wanting young guys. I'm 30 years old. I honestly want a guy who is definitely 30 and above, but personally, I like guys who are at least 2 to 3 to 4 years older than me. That is my sweet spot. But anyways, back to beards. I love them. They are attractive. Such a turn on every single time I see one. Next, nice cologne. All right, so this one, guys really need to step their game up with this because more guys should be wearing cologne. A lot of guys don't wear cologne. And I know this because when I come across a guy wearing cologne, I literally crank my neck. I'm literally breaking my neck to see who it is because aromatherapy scents are sensual. It is attractive. It is such a turn on. It is also a pheromone and I love it. I love it. I can't get enough of it. I also personally wear perfume every single day. I love getting compliments on how good I smell. I want the same for the guys. I want you to smell good because I like smelling good, so you should like smelling good. And when a guy takes time to pick out a nice cologne and put it on and make it a regular thing, it is such a turn on. I will honestly probably like you so much more if you smell good. I'm just gonna say that right off top. Next, hair slicked back. All right, back to the guy who I have been dating recently. I saw him last night actually, and he's definitely my type. Very, very cute. He had his hair slicked back, and he doesn't wear his hair like that all the time, but I told him, I really like your hair like that. I think it's really hot. I thought it was cute because he smiled and he was like, okay, I'm going to wear it more like this. Ladies, guys like it when we tell them what we like, when we are vocal, because guys, sometimes they just need direction and sometimes they just need some affirmation. So we need to give it to them where it's due. I believe that comment went such a long way. But back to hair slicked back, I just like that polished look. I just think every now and then having a guy's hair slicked back, especially when it's wet, it just looks so hot. If you know, you know. Some of these are just, if you know, you know. If you haven't experienced these, I'm so sorry. Please go live life and experience them. Go out into the wild. But for the girls who get me, you already get me. And you know what? This episode is for the girls who get me, but also putting you on to things that you should be looking out for. It's so fun to just go out and observe, guys. It's a hobby I partake in. You should too. All right, next, glasses. And I put in parentheses prescription. Let's unpack that. For girls, we can wear cutesy glasses that are not prescription. I wear blue light glasses every single day. Half of it is really just for the aesthetics and for the fashion statement because I think they look good on me. But for guys, I don't want to see you doing that. What I want to see is the guys who actually need glasses, which again, that is a subset of the population. Not everyone gets to partake in them. However, if you do get the opportunity to partake in wearing glasses because you actually need them, get ones that look good on your face and then wear them often, because something about a guy wearing glasses who's already attractive is so hot. You look like you're supposed to be in a movie. You look like the main character, and I think that is really, 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 really attractive. There's so many guys here in New York that I'm just walking around and I'm just looking around and I'm like, oh my God, so many guys are wearing glasses and they look so hot and they're tall and they're muscular and they're wearing their glasses and they look a little nerdy. I think there's something about that nerdy look for a guy that is just so attractive. I love a nerd, okay? But let me be very clear. I like a guy who looks like he's a nerd, who can teach me something, who is smart, who is intellectual. However, you have everything else. You have the physical strength, you have the brains, you have the compassion, you have all of it. I think that's what we're all looking for. Honestly, I know it's not just me. I know I'm not alone. But back to the glasses. If you do get to wear prescription glasses, rock them. Just know that the ladies like it, okay? Gone are the days where we think glasses are out and we think glasses are ugly. They're literally the opposite of ugly. We thought that when we were kids, but we didn't know better. Now as adults, if you're wearing glasses, I am going to find you probably so attractive. Next, this one's a little silly. Grunt with excitement. Let me explain. Because grunting can happen in other aspects. If you know, you know. But grunting with excitement is very attractive when a guy does that. Why? Guys don't emote nearly as much as women. And honestly, that's for the best. I'm not saying guys' emotions don't matter. They absolutely do. However, women are just naturally more emotional. We are more caregivers. That's how we are wired. That is how we are programmed. But it is so cute to see when a guy is excited, not too excited, but just a little excitement. And that grunt, because I've heard it before, more guys should be open with outwardly being excited. I think most guys, again, this is a societal thing, most guys feel like they can't be excited or they can't show that kind of emotion, which honestly is BS. Just know that the right girls will find it attractive and find it cute and caring, like me. Next, hand on thigh. So first off, I was trying to decipher if I was going to put in aspects on what a guy does rather than involve how he acts or how he treats a girl. Because if I added a ton of those, this list would be so long. But I added this one because I think about this every other day. I am not kidding. So many times where I've been on dates and the date is going so well. There is tension, there is banter, there is flirting, there is butterflies, there is chemistry. You can cut that shit with a knife. Those are my favorite dates ever. And on every single date that I've felt all of those things, the guy is literally hand on thigh the entire date. And it's so much fun. Honestly, if I really unpack it, it's something about feeling like you are his. Not in a possessive way. It's he sees you, he's claiming you in a way. And I find that very, very deeply attractive. I love physical touch. That is not my highest love language, but it is actually my second. My first is words of affirmation, which I've talked about a ton on this pod. But my second, the runner-up, is physical touch. So I love when guys put their hand on my thigh. I think it's actually such a intimate spot. Something about your thigh, like the skin on your thigh, it just feels intimate and it feels like you're really connected, which I personally love. Also, special mention while we're on the topic about touch, I love when a guy rubs your lower back, a lower back rub just while you guys are standing and talking. I think that is so cute. That happened last night with a guy who I was dating and it was so cute. I feel like I have to tell this mini story to unpack what I just said. He was at my apartment. I had a huge bug in my bathroom. I was freaking out. I was screaming. I was on the verge of tears because it was huge and I'm just a girl. I'm not going to do anything about it. And he came into the bathroom and I was trying to explain what the bug looked like. And one thing about me, ironically enough, I have this podcast and I talk on the mic and I love just expressing myself through word. But when I get nervous or like really scared about something, I cannot even speak. I cannot form full sentences. So I was trying to explain what it looks like and I was getting so flustered and panicking. And all the while I'm panicking, he's rubbing my lower back, soothing me, which really calmed me down. And it's just something I'm still thinking about, even though this was last night. That very subtle act shows that you care. And I think that's just so attractive. Next, a piggyback ride. I had to throw this one in there because I love being hoisted and picked up. One of those forms is through a piggyback ride. I think piggyback rides are just so cute and fun. It makes me think of being a kid. And again, when your crush is giving you a piggyback ride, actually, what is better? I think that is the cutest thing. Back to talking about this same guy, the first night that we met, he gave me a piggyback ride through the streets of New York for like 10 minutes. And I was having a ball. I was having the best time. Those kind of things I will never forget. But all of my past boyfriends have given me piggyback rides upon request. And I love it. I think it's so cute. I think it's so attractive when a guy can literally just pick you up. I think all girls should get to be picked up if they want to be. If you want to be physically picked up, if you feel like that is your truth, as it is mine, make that a requirement for who you date. I think it's important to have a little strength test for a guy to prove that he can pick you up. And I just have to say, I am not a light girl. I am not light at all. I'm small, but I'm not light. I unpacked this in a previous podcast episode. I have a lot of muscle and because of that, I am not light. So I personally think it is even more attractive when a guy can pick me up specifically because that definitely means that you are strong. And last on the list is a man in uniform. All right. So we're really talking about everybody who wears a uniform for their job. Okay. Firemen, doctors, EMTs, insert any other type of uniform that you can think of that you find attractive. When you think about it, you're like, yeah, damn, he's hot. Military guys, all of them. Navy, the Navy guys with their hats, so hot. You get the gist. So hot. I used to date a firefighter, which honestly, I love that for me. I really pulled. He so tall. There was one night he had his fireman uniform on because he was getting ready to go to work, and I was just sitting and watching him get ready. This is literally the hottest thing I have ever experienced up until then. I was living my best life. It's giving thank you for your service. It is giving you are so good at your job, even though I don't fully know that, but your uniform makes me think you're good at your job. And honestly, my delusional brain, that is all I need to hear. Turn-ons are so much fun. I think a lot of people don't lean into their turn-ons as much as they should. Life is meant to be lived, as well as we are meant to be excited sexually, emotionally. All of these things matter, ladies. And yes, I will be talking so much more about these type of topics because we need to talk about them more. I think there's such a unnecessary taboo around topics such as orgasms and sex, turn-ons, and all of it. People think, oh, you shouldn't be talking about it. Why? Why shouldn't we be talking about it? We experience them and we should be talking about our experiences, especially so that other people won't feel so alone and other people won't feel so scared to speak up and be excited. These things are exciting, whether you want to outwardly say it or not. And here I am helping you, guiding you, and advocating for you to find out what your turn-ons are because it will make life so much more fun. And with that, thank you so much for listening to another episode of Misunderstood. Remember to rate this show 5 stars on Apple and Spotify, wherever you're listening. Join our Geneva group chat. It is always linked in the description of every single podcast episode. Hang out with me on my other socials, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Pinterest at NK Madani. And I will talk to you guys in my next one.